Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Happy Monday.
We thought we would come on here and answer 3 questions today. First question.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I live in Wisconsin. I've been watching you guys for a few months now, and I'm actually going to school to be a physical therapist assistant. And I saw old videos on when Peter does your airway clearance for you. Does he still do that for you or no?
Over the last number of years, I guess over the last, how long have we been vlogging?
5, almost 5 years, yeah.
Over the last 5 years, you guys have seen us. We even did like an instructional video on how to do chest PT because we realized there was like a gap in the market where patients come home from the hospital and they don't know how to do chest PT. So we said, we'll make a video.
Yeah, and actually, I remember like one of our first, or not first, but like it was when we had first gotten back from Scotland. We were at the rehab house that, well, that's what we called it. It was a house we were staying in temporarily while we
were
figured
rehabbing
out,
my lungs.
Yeah, we were figuring out what was next. And we did, remember we did that fast motion chest PT? And I feel like that video, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people found that video and then asked a lot of questions about chest PT and then led to us making that kind of more instructional video.
Yeah, true. So yeah, I mean, I, over the last number of years, have kind of figured out what works best for my lungs. Also, I think as I've gotten older, chest PT has become more and more painful for me. So I primarily just do my vest, and I tend to do an hour in the morning and an hour at night. Sometimes I mix it up a little bit and I do a half an hour, like I do an hour in the morning, half an hour in the middle of the day, and half an hour at night.
I think one thing you see with CF patients, and not just Mary, is that every CF patient kind of learns their body and what airway clearance is going to work best for them. So some patients use other devices, some patients use the vest, some patients say, you know what, the vest isn't as effective, I'm going to do chest PT. And Mary's like body has gone through seasons where she feels like some methods are more effective and more tolerable, and I think holding those two things, like if the vest is more tolerable and she can do more of that, then it's going to be more effective than a shorter time of chest PT and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But there are times where Mary, she finishes her vest and she's feeling still congested in her lungs, and we'll just kind of do some, like a short session of chest PT.
Yeah.
But by and large, the vest has been, in the past couple of years, the main form of airway clearance that Mary finds effective.
Good afternoon, Mary, Peter, and Ollie. My name's Matt. My question is, where do you guys like to go when you're out and about?
I think we can answer this 2 different ways. One, what stores do we go to?
Oh, fine.
But 2, what were you thinking?
Well, I mean, my mind when it goes to what do you like to do when you go out doesn't go to stores, but...
Well, no. I was going to say that the item that floats.
Oh. But like, okay, so that is definitely going out on the water. It would be a top pick for us. But I mean, like, let's take the question in terms of a random mundane day and we're going out of the house.
We love to go to this store called Ocean State Job Lot. They have a ton of like gardening stuff, bird feeder stuff. They even have boat stuff. They have a lot of discount stuff. And we really enjoy finding treasures there.
We like finding deals, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But my mind doesn't go to going to stores.
So go ahead.
But because I think I was going to say, I know that Mary's ideal for going out of the house is to go to stores. I don't love shopping, but I love being with Mary. So I'll make going to a store fun and just by being with Mary and that sort of thing. And I enjoy times where we like find like a random cafe and have a sandwich and sit there. And I think back to one of our first vlogs in Scotland, and we found this little zebra cafe and we sat there and ate lunch, and it was I don't know, that memorable. I enjoy those times getting out and doing those things.
Memorable. We both very much love that memory.
Oh, it's
We're
blurry.
Still here. Hello? Yeah, so shopping, going out on the boat, which I'm guessing when I said boat, where is he?
His ears perked
He's
up.
looking at us. I don't know, we like to do a lot of different things. Sometimes we'll go get a bite to eat, like Peter said, at a cafe, or go through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru and sit in our car and watch the sunset.
Yeah, that is actually one of our favorite dates, is eating food in the car and like after going through a drive-thru, or like sometimes we'll pick it up from like a nicer restaurant and sit in the car.
Yeah. It's just like relaxing. You don't have to talk loud to hear each other. You can see the sunset. There's no germs. There are so many benefits. But
no
yeah.
people around. It's the best.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a pre-med student. I'm wondering if you could give a piece of advice to a medical student or a new clinician that's interacting with you, such that they could better understand you and, you know, your unique challenges and what you need. What would that be?
Okay, when I heard this question, I decided I want to hear Peter's answer first.
Oh, wow.
Turning it on you.
I thought, when I heard the question, I was like, oh good, I don't have to answer this one. Okay, advice to medical people from kind of being the other person in the room amidst Mary's doctor appointments, hospital stays, and knowing what she appreciates and doesn't appreciate. I think one of the things that is awesome for medical personnel to recognize when it comes to chronic illnesses like CF is that when it comes to the daily routine of treatment, Mary is the expert. Like, to recognize that Mary knows her CF and her body better than the doctors do in some respects. I mean, there's that level of, I'm not saying that doctors don't know anything, but like,
as far, not the like technical medical side, but as far as the daily doing the grind side.
Yeah, but also knowing how her body has reacted to things in the past and how treatments work and that sort of thing. And I think medical personnel who approach, and obviously this is a question that, or an answer that's geared toward really kind of a CF patient or a similar disease, where the patient does kind of have that medical knowledge that's required for day-to-day life and all of that, but that in that scenario, making it more of a conversation rather than an evaluation and like here's what I have to say kind of thing. And so Mary really appreciates like medical personnel who are assertive and like have a like game plan and all of those things, but approaching that from like a conversational standpoint.
Right. Taking into consideration, like Peter said, the fact that I've lived this for almost 30 years. I've tried a lot of things. And so if it's, say, a new medical person who I'm meeting with, and they throw out an idea and I say, well, we have tried that, here's how it's gone in the past. When they take that, like, respectfully, I guess, and respect the fact that we gave that our best effort, it didn't work, and I guess it's a matter of when we feel, like Peter said, a part of the conversation or a part of the team, respected and heard. Yeah. Whenever I walk out of an appointment with my team, no matter what my numbers were, no matter if it was good news or bad news, when I walk out, if I have felt understood, like we're all on the same page, we have, even if there's not a good treatment plan at this point, we have an understanding of like, let's see what happens in the next week and then we'll make a decision or whatever. Like having a plan, even though there's no magical cure, just feeling heard and understood, validated, because a lot of times when you're living day in and day out with chronic illness, you start to feel like a crazy person. You're like, I'm supposed to be feeling better, but I don't feel better, or whatever it is. And for them to be like, it makes sense that you don't feel good. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can really do, but I hear you and it stinks. Like, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
So yeah, feeling like a part of the conversation is super helpful. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard question though, because, you know, we only know our side of the story, meaning the patient side. And typically the medical personnel only know the medical side, unless you as a medical person have had a relative with a chronic illness or something like that. It's hard to see it from the other side. So it's like a new doctor comes in, of course they're gonna wanna try to offer ideas. And so it has to be frustrating from their side if I say, actually we tried that, it didn't work, and we also tried that and it didn't work. That would be frustrating to hear. So I acknowledge that, like, you're just trying to come up with good ideas.
I think what Mary's saying is not so much of what the ideas are or what the outcome of an appointment is, it's more just how the conversation happens. It's not, it's great that a new doctor would have new ideas and that sort of thing. It's just how that conversation would happen.
Yeah.
And I think that goes across the board, like not just chronic illness, is that every patient wants to be heard and understood. Like,
yeah.
And every human wants that in everyday interaction. And so when the medical realm, and I think this often happens, when the medical realm becomes too systematic, that it's not personal anymore. And I know that there's like a huge new push within medical health care to personalize treatment and healthcare in general, because when systems are great, but when it becomes too systematic and the doctor's just filling out that form of all the questions to ask, it no longer becomes a conversation, it becomes a form that they're filling out.
Right. And it's, yeah, I mean, we appreciate when we're looked at as a whole human, not just a diagnosis. But like Peter mentioned, that goes for all humans. We all want to be heard and validated or understood. And so I think that's a good place to end, to remind you guys, whether it's in interactions at your work or at school or in your family, like, we're all just trying to make it through and be understood. So giving your loved ones the benefit of the doubt and trying to think of it from their perspective, and just trying to, like, I think it comes down to, like, being a good human.
Yeah, I think that's a repeated theme here on these Q&As, is just be a good human.
Be a good human. So thanks for joining us on today's stand-up Q&A. We're standing up and answering your questions.
And here's the Ollie boy.
As always.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night. Oh, hi guys, I'm taking a nap. Good night.